Radiant team ban.
What is going on, bros? I am BDLM Matt, coming with my buddy
Dire team
J4Y,
ban.
bringing you Game 2 of Navi versus EHOME in the
Radiant team
ESWC
ban.
Finals worth $22,000. What's going on, buddy?
Hey Matt, how you doing?
Radiant
I'm
team
doing great
ban.
over here. Yeah, as you're saying, this is the second game of the finale. It's EHOME versus Navi. There was a very not close at all, to say the least, game one. Where EHOME just got dominated early by that Pudge pickup. And they just really couldn't come back from that. Anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, that game was so crazy. I actually went back and watched the replay. We were talking about, basically it was just, I'm sorry, you said that you kind of got like a head fake by that Pudge pick, and that's exactly what it was. It got to pick number 2 when we saw Ancient Apparition. We're like, okay, there's a solo mid, no big deal. And then they waited till their 5th pick to pick up that Pudge, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, Pudge is mid, so where's Ancient Apparition? And so we saw that Tinker, who was against that Pudge, got picked 3rd by EHOME. So that really kind of messed up how they were going to run that lane, and that's really kind of what told the tape for as far as that game is concerned. So far, we've already seen a lot of the picks and bans come out. The bans went out pretty quick, and then the picks were almost immediate. You saw Spectre, and then immediately on the other side was Night Stalker, Ancient Apparition. Both sides know exactly what they want to do this game. And now the 4th pick so far in this game is the Beastmaster.
Yeah, these bans are looking incredibly similar. I mean, already, as you see, EHOME starts out with 2 junglers. It's the Chen and Furion, once again targeting Puppey because they know, him in the jungle equals bad times. And then back over here on Navi, you see the Lich, super strong support. And I think actually this is the same exact first 2 bans of the first game. Yeah, with Anti-Mage, another hard carry. But they did get Spectre right away instead of saving it for the second round of picks, so they know who they want to carry this game into the late. And then of course now they've got Beastmaster probably to counter that Night Stalker pick. If he gets that Black King bar, he's really hard to deal with if you got a kind of magic heavy team, so no surprise there. And then as you're saying, over Navi, Ancient Apparition and Night Stalker. I mean, Ancient Apparition with that really big global presence, and he played support last game and did a really fantastic job with Vengeful Spirit. So we'll see if they maybe try that combination again. It worked really well.
Absolutely. I mean, so far Ancient Apparition, Night Stalker, both heroes that are played mid. I'd expect Night Stalker to go mid, but after last game, who knows? We'll have to see what develops there. But yeah, like you said, Lich, Anti-Mage, first 2 bans again, and I just guess those are the heroes that are kind of just like, yeah, we don't even want to mess with them. They're just a bit too strong for us to want to mess with. And here comes Pudge again for Navi, right after a Windrunner pickup by EHOME as we get into the next round of bans. I'll be honest, I'm completely surprised that he even made it through the first round of bans. I mean, why would EHOME want to even put up with the idea of Pudge in the second game?
Yeah, I mean, he was just so dominant in that first game, and it showed. I mean, I guess these professional teams aren't as scared of Pudge because honestly, he is what we like to call a pub stomper. He takes advantage of those players who maybe aren't ready to react to that hook, because if he misses that hook, that's really all he's got for that initiation. So he's kind of weak, obviously, and he's one of those snowballing heroes, kind of like a Tiny, something like that, where he really needs to have a good, strong start to get stronger into that middle late game. Obviously, the way he works, if he has that, I forgot what the move's called, but he gains strength every time a hero dies near him. And, what's it?
Cadaver armor, I
Cadaver
believe.
armor, yeah. And if, no one's dying near him, obviously he's not going to be as tanky late game as they want him to be.
Absolutely. Pudge played so fantastic last game. It's not just the blind hooks that I think you should really be throwing if you're trying to be good with a Pudge. It wasn't just the ganking the other lanes. It was the going around inside the forest to throw hooks from behind the towers, somewhere where you're just really not expecting them to come from, and then porting in to support his other lanes whenever anything would happen there. Namely, I'm just thinking of an exchange bottom where it almost looked like his team was going to lose it, but out comes a Pudge hook from the forest, and he helps pick up an extra kill there and really turn around what would have been a bad fight for them. So we see another 3 bans so far: Vengeful Spirit, Enigma, and Shaker. So there we see 2 big AoE ultimates in Enigma and Shaker, and Vengeful Spirit just a popular support. Kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what it is that EHOME thinks is so scary about the Vengeful Spirit. I mean, she is a good support, but I've never really thought about her as so scary that you just need to get rid of her. What do you think might have been some of the reasoning behind that?
Well, as I kind of mentioned earlier, they ran that Ancient Apparition Vengeful Spirit supporting their Spectre bottom lane. And, I mean, when you have a stun set up with Ancient Apparition for a slow stun, you can really set up some easy ganks. And, actually, I take that back. That's how they initially set up their lanes. But Ancient Apparition actually decided to go middle and support that Pudge. And that's really what gave that Tinker a hard time. And actually, you'll notice Tinker hasn't even been banned out or anything because he didn't do much that game, let's be honest. Pudge just really took control of that middle lane with the help of the Ancient Apparition. And we might see something similar in this game depending on who they decide to pick up as their supports this game.
Yeah, that's something else you said in that earlier game too is, Tinker is really good against low health people and people that have to rely on auto-attacking, and Pudge is neither of those things. So I'm sure as soon as they saw Pudge, EHOME was like, nope, no Tinker. Because where else are they going to put him? I guess they could do a side solo, but not even interested in there. Next we have Tidehunter and Crystal Maiden picked up. I of course love the Crystal Maiden pick. What do you think about the Tidehunter pick for EHOME?
Well, they ran it last game, and the only reason it really didn't work out for them is because she took so long to get to level 6, and a Tidehunter without 6, I mean, the Gush, don't get me wrong, it's a really nice opener, but if he doesn't have that ultimate to set up the initiations, then there's really no point in him in team fights. So I do like him as a champion, though, and obviously he can synergize well, if you catch the whole team off guard and get all of them stunned up, followed by some great Spectre damage and Beastmaster damage. I think that's honestly a really good pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, I called it like a nub in the last game. I was like, oh yeah, Tidehunter, he can drop his ulti because it was like 15 minutes into the game, but then he was only level 4. And, that's really the disadvantage of running those trial lanes is, especially when you use people like Tidehunter, when you can think of them, you think ultimate, but they get run in those lanes where they don't get that ultimate until much later in the game when it's not as crucial. Here for the last picks, very interesting. Lion, and then we see Weaver, who was banned last game, picked up for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Weaver, I mean, super strong champion. Of course, not late game, he can carry very hard, of course, but, Spectre, I think I'd like to give the advantage to Spectre late game, of course, just because of the fact that he reflects 20% any damage that comes in right to the opposition. Whereas Weaver, though, on the other hand, I mean, he is great dealing out that damage, sneaking out there alive, and then with his ultimate, of course, he can survive most situations. Kind of interesting, though, I mean, you do see on EHOME a lot of CC, which is going to cause some issues, I think. They have the stun, the polymorph, or the sheep. You got the shackle shot, Beastmaster ultimate. There's a lot of ways they can prevent him from, using that ultimate.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you would see Weaver picked up right after Lion, because he almost seems like the perfect counter to it. He's a lot of upfront damage and a lot of CC. And so really, if you can stop Shabupi from going off, my new favorite word. Stop the Invis from Weaver going off. If you can keep him CC'd so that he cannot ultimate, there's just not much he's going to be able to do in these team fights. Here so far we see EHOME, 4 of them going to the bottom lane. Looks like we are going to have Lion solo top. Very interesting. He's going to be able to get those levels up, and he's going to have that ultimate available very early. I'd imagine help gank early. Here we have Na'Vi and EHOME. It looks like they're going to see each other here in the bottom. Will Na'Vi see them around the trees? Yes, it looks like Night Stalker's going to try and go in here with Pudge and Ancient Apparition. They catch this Tidehunter off. There goes the hook from Pudge. Are they going to be able to take him out? Yes! First blood goes out to Ancient Apparition. Now it looks like Beastmaster might be in trouble. Night Stalker getting very low himself. Looks like Pudge wants to keep up this chase. He doesn't have the rots to provide that slow the whole time. And no, Spectre's going to go down. Windrunner tries to pick up a kill on this Pudge. It looks like she will not. Beastmaster wants to try and come back in and help his buddies, but he knows right now he just needs to get out. 2 versus 4. That is not going to go well, and 2 kill advantage already for Na'Vi, getting some experience for their Pudge, and a kill for their Ancient Apparition while taking out the enemy carry. What a terrible start to this game for EHOME.
Yeah, I mean, the only upside EHOME can really take away from that is that it was the start of the game. They already, spent most of their gold, if not all of it. So really all they lost or they gave up was that early start of gold for Ancient Apparition and this assist gold. But, Ancient Apparition now with that gold, he's probably going to get, a lot of wards, maybe even some boots early and be able to roam and be a pretty big menace. By the way, I think we're a little bit off, so you mind syncing up really quick?
Sure, 202, or 1002, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay, we're
8.
good.
Excellent. Here's something I was not expecting to see. Here in the bottom lane, you have Night Stalker and Crystal Maiden together with Windrunner and Spectre. It looks like Ancient Apparition is going to wind up heading down there. He was mid for a while. He might try and put on some harass here in the bottom lane. And then top we have Weaver solo against Lion and Tidehunter. What do you think of these lanes?
Yeah, 2-1-2, which is kind of a scary thing. I mean, honestly, you know, if this tri-lane stays down here with Ancient Apparition, actually I don't even know if they're aware of his presence there. Possible ganks up. No, he's just kind of holding out. But if it's going to be 3v2, Night Stalker's going to get all the farm he needs, and Spectre's going to need a lot of help because he can't get even anywhere near those creeps. That's going to be really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, I really like getting Dispersion early on Spectre, like level 1 and prioritizing that, you know, just to be able to reflect the damage, to be able to get tanky early. You know, when you consider he's not there to try and get early kills. He just wants to be able to sit in that lane and pick up creep kills. So, you know, I think I would be much more for picking up Dispersion and maybe perhaps missing out on the occasional level 1 kill that you might ensure with Spectral Dagger to ensure some early game farm.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. There's no reason they should have two top. I mean, Weaver, I think Lion can handle him well on his own. Actually, you see some harassment, but you know, if he gets those early levels and gets that level 6, Weaver's just gonna get insta-gibbed. So, you know, not much of a threat there if he can get those levels. So they really, I think, in all honesty, they should. And it looks like Tidehunter actually might be rotating all the way down, maybe after trying to set a little something up in the middle lane. But you know, actually, initiation bottom, Windrunner getting frozen up here. Ancient Apparition trying to follow, does actually get the kill. Now Spectre's in trouble. He's going to try to get out of here. He already used his dagger, unfortunately. So it's looking like he is going to barely survive. And that's what I was talking about the Ancient Apparition. He got those really early boosts because of that double kill, and it obviously showed to be really helpful.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition now on a killing spree. Dispersion certainly saves Spectre's life there. He goes down to 18 health, is able to just pop a health potion and get right back into the fight. We see now that, yes, Tidehunter is going to calm down here. Very smart decision there. I'm really excited to see what happens in this middle lane. I think this is really what's going to wind up dictating the flow of the game. Is Pudge going to be able to get even close to what he had last game? I think the answer, he's certainly not going to have as easy a time with this Beastmaster. He's just naturally much tankier. Definitely a much better competition for Pudge. I mean, EHOME is going to have a lot better time with him here in the middle lane as opposed to that oh-so-squishy Tinker.
Yeah, and I mean, like we were saying last game, Ancient Apparition was also kind of camping out behind him, setting up those slows and making it really easy for Pudge to get those kills. But now with Ancient Apparition hanging around bottom lane, where actually Tidehunter looks like he's going to set something up on Crystal Maiden, tons of damage coming out, she's definitely going to drop. But Night Stalker looking to try to finish off Spectre, not going to have nearly enough damage. It's not even, you know, nighttime, not even close. So he's just going to have to fall back, waiting for his support, Ancient Apparition, who apparently decided to run middle.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, they were able to finally pick up a kill here in this bottom lane. That's going to help Spectre out. That's going to lighten some of the pressure that's been putting on down there. Up in the top lane, while all that was going on, just all back and forth between Lion and Weaver. That's going to be a really heavy harass lane. And, you know, Lion, I can just feel it, just waiting. As soon as he hits that level 6, he's just going to be looking for situations that he can take advantage of the massive amount of crowd control and the massive amount of upfront damage with that Finger of Death ultimate. Here in the middle lane, you have Beastmaster and Tidehunter looking like they want to try and go in here on this Ancient Apparition, who's coming in here to support. Looks like nothing much will happen here. Pudge actually getting dangerously low. The Gush goes out on him. Looks like the axes will not hit him, and the Ancient Apparition will come in and try and scare off Tidehunter Beastmaster combination. Also picking off that poor little boar that looks a little bit more like some kind of dog to me, but, you know, who am I? Not an anatomy major.
Well, thankfully you're not. Going down the bottom here, now it's pretty much even. Actually, Night Stalker getting way out harassed in this case because Windrunner has that potential. I mean, you know, Power Shot can do so much damage. Even at rank 1, it does 120 already. It's set up a Shackle Shot, and, you know, that really can allow some heavy damage. Spectre deciding to go ring a health first item, so now he's going to be able to sustain in this lane. Not really have to worry about it. Even when nighttime hits, unless there's some, you know, big movement coming down here, I think they're going to have a lot of trouble trying to set up kills. Night Stalker might have to roam the middle or somewhere else to really try to get those kills he wants.
Yeah, that's really nice about this lane. You know, the Gush puts up a pretty big slow, 40% at all ranks. That's really awesome. And then, of course, you have this Shackle Shot by Windrunner, so if she's able to get good positioning, that's potentially a couple seconds stun. It's 1.5 at level 1. So yeah, I think once Spectre finishes that Vanguard, it's going to be much easier for him to just sit here and do what he wants. It's really going to take ganks from the other lanes, like you said. Oh, here comes Pudge, as we were talking about ganks from the other lane. Pudge looking to come down and put up some harassed bottom. Between him and Nightstalker, they will easily pick up this kill on Windrunner, and now looks like Nightstalker wants to go in, taking advantage of the nighttime, wants to chase the Spectre. Will he go down? Oh, turning around, why? Crystal Maiden able to pick up the kill there, not taking into account the fact that it's nighttime and how tanky this Nightstalker is. He's just going to pop a healing salve, pop a tango, and get right back to farming. This is what we had last game. Pudge looking around in the other lanes, trying to pick up kills wherever he can. And so it's really nice to see him keep that up. And, that's just something we've seen a lot so far. A lot of movement by both teams. And, that's really a major part of playing these MOBA games, is being able to swap around heroes, be able to put yourself in better situations to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Weaver, you can tell by his item choice, he has the Ring of Basilisk. Actually, we must have missed action bottom lane. Another kill on Spectre. That's 2 really quick deaths back to back, and that's going to really put him behind. Nightstalker really taking advantage of that slow with the Pudge hook. He had no chance of surviving through that. So another good job. Ancient Apparition actually finished the Arcane Boots already. So, bring that down here. They're going to be just out harassing this lane, no problem.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I mean, that's definitely the advantage of getting those early kills. I mean, yeah, he's been walking around a lot too, and he can still afford those boots because of the amount of kills his team's been able to put up so far. 7 minutes in, we have 7 kills, and 6 of them are for Navi. So, and of course, as we said earlier, a couple of those so far onto this Spectre. It's going to be really tough for him to come back. He's really going to have to finish off some of these defensive items, pick up boots, which will help him get away from this Nightstalker who moves
top lane,
so
actually,
quick.
Initiation by Pudge. Hooks, which I have no idea how he even knew he was there. What an amazing hook through the woods. Weaver's trying to follow up now. Actually might get in over his head a little bit, doing a little harassment, but, he's a Weaver trying to build that hood. He's not going to do a lot of damage.
3 men set up in the bottom lane. Crystal Maiden coming behind the tower as Ancient Apparition and Nightstalker pushing from the front. Nightstalker got down so low and runs right back into tower range to throw up another nuke. There's just nothing he's afraid of down here. These towers do not do enough damage to hold him back by any means. Now he has himself another 2 earned charges. He's just going to be able to sit down here with the massive amount of slow from Crystal Maiden and from Ancient Apparition. No problem. And as you said, these arcane boosts are going to be so painful for Spectre to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Nightstalker's nuke does not only a great amount of damage, 255 already at rank 3, but obviously that big slow. And actually, you'll notice his build. He's, once again, they're not choosing to go that darkness. They're just maxing out the Hunter in the Night and the Void. So it seems to be the common build.
Here in the forest, we have an ultimate drop by Beastmaster looking to go on Pudge. They're able to pick him off. Smoke used, actually, but in comes Nightstalker. He wants to try and set something up. The Ancient Apparition all comes in as well. Are they going to be able to get Beastmaster down? Yes, they do. Nightstalker actually picks up the kill there. Spectre looks to come in, trying to pick off the squishy Crystal Maiden, who's running for a life. No boots on her. It looks like Spectre will be able to keep up. A good power shot from Windrunner is going to ensure that kill and some farm that the Spectre desperately needs.
Yeah. Let's just look around the creep scores really quick. At 20-0 Spectre compared to 27-8. Actually, that's a lot closer than I imagined. I guess it's just because that Nightstalker
here in the
is
bottom, we actually have Lion getting caught by this Nightstalker, but because of that CC, able to stop him. The Windrunner and the Tidehunter help comes in. Lion actually picks up that kill with a Finger of Death. That massive amount of damage. You can see there it took 3 of them to be able to take down this Nightstalker at night. But they are able to and help get another revenge kill, making the score come to 4-10.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about, what they needed to do. They were put behind such a bad position from those early ganks. And, Spectre really needs to be able to get back in the game and start farming up his Vanguard and more. Really good job by the top rotating down there to set some kills up. But they've got ways to go, as the gold chart shows. It's still a 3,000 gold advantage, only 10 minutes in. They haven't even pushed a tower, so you can imagine with Weaver just sitting up here free farming. Already finished his Hood Defiance, by the way, so if Lion comes back up there, there's not much he's going to do to him.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You're talking 3,000 gold difference. It's sitting on Weaver right now. He's wearing his nice little hat. an amazing item to have already for him at the 10-minute mark. That's absurd. And so now we can almost be assured that he's going to really try and finish that Radiance with the farm he's been having up here. He's definitely going to have that before the 30-minute mark. So that's going to be just a huge amount of damage, and now that he's already so tanky. Here in the bottom lane, actually, we have Pudge looking to go in, but he gets caught. 3 heroes here look to turn and kill him. Night Stalker able to pick up a kill on Beastmaster. Beastmaster picking up the kill on Pudge, and now it looks like Ancient Apparition and Night Stalker want to go in on Spectra, but here comes the Lion. He's going to try and see what he can do to help. It's going to be not much. Crystal Maiden also comes in here, putting in some additional support as the Flying Courier looks to come in and deliver some goodies to all the good little boys and girls.
It is the holidays after all, so, you know, it's quite appropriate. Yeah, but good job there, Pudge. He did end up going down, but not without a fight, and as you saw, managed to take a few with him there. Really good Ancient Apparition ulti, hitting 2 heroes there. So, you know, that's really key. If that can land, not only does it do that damage, but it stops all sorts of regen on the heroes, and, you know, they can tick down and eventually shatter if they get
here in that top lane. It looks like Weaver was trying his best to try and finish off that tower. The glyph was popped. Lion came in, landed the stun, landed the Hex, and between his damage and the tower damage, they were able to pick up a kill on that squishy Reaver.
Wow, without Finger of Death, too. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, he was just so aggressive there. He got the tower so low. You know, that's one thing that is really frustrating. It's when you get a tower so low, you don't want to get it in deny range or leave it in deny range. It did get to that point. He was like, no, just let me try and finish it off real quick. I can get out of here before a Lion kills me, but no such luck. Lion, I thought he was going to lose that tower, you know, going down bottom to help out a team, but that shows you, here actually in the bottom force, we have Pudge and Beastmaster having a little skirmish there. Ancient Apparition helps out, grabbing the kill for Pudge. Oh, Night Stalker actually picks up a kill middle. We have Weaver getting really low, as well as Lion. Lion will go down to this Weaver, though, doing so much damage already. Oh, a lot of kills in all the lanes and even in the forest.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track of all of these because they keep dying all over the place. And that's just exactly what's going to happen with a Night Stalker and, you know, a Pudge on the team. They're just going to be insanely aggressive, especially at nighttime. Of course, now it's daytime. But he does have that ultimate. Actually, it's on cooldown. I lied. But, you know, even still, they're going to be that really aggressive team. And you can already see it, the counter, or the warding, rather, going up here by the Sentinel because they're just going to need to survive, you know, against these ganks.
Yeah, you know, we never really got to discuss, like, the whole lineup. So I really do like Navi's team. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of aggression. A lot of gank-heavy play, but it's also really solid, too. I mean, none of these picks, I mean, you know, Pudge we don't get to see all the time, but nothing really strange, but just this package of heroes. You get Weaver being able to move quickly while invisible, you get the Pudge hook to be able to displace people, you have the Ancient Apparition ult from across the map, and Night Stalker who just runs around, you know, without anybody really being able to hold him down at night. Just a lot of movement, a lot of displacement. Good pickups by Navi.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, not quite the same game Pudge has his first one. He's only 3-2-6 compared to what was he? It was like 20-1-8 or something ludicrous last game. But you know, his items are kind of showing in this game. He's only got the boots of speed and a cloak and a magic wand, so not a whole lot. But he doesn't need it at the same time. He just needs those levels to set up these ganks. You know, with a hook that hits for 360 damage. I mean, that's just insanely high against these, you know, squishy targets.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think that's the one thing. And normally when I think the average person sees Pudge, it's, you know, they wind up either running away with the game or doing nothing at all. But, you know, Pudge is playing really well. He's been helping the other lanes as well, and that's what you really have to do when you're playing a gank-centric hero in the middle lane. You have to move around a lot. And as we saw, you know, Ancient Apparition, you could say, oh, so much movement, you know, going to wind up losing out on the levels, lose out on the farm. But because he was moving around, because he was helping the other lanes, you know, he was able to get really quick items to help push the game even further into his favor.
Yeah, it looks like a tower is now taken out for the Radiant middle, so they get their first tower kill of the game. Meanwhile, down bottom, Dire, they're really pushing this second-tier tower, and that's going to be their third tower. It looks like they're going to just give it to them. Of course, one was denied, but still giving that gold advantage over to them. So not only they had 16-7 in the hero kill department, but now they're up by 2 towers, and that's just going to keep feeding this whole team. And not only is that going to feed, of course, the carries, but you got to think about the supports too, who are not as squishy now because they have all this gold to buy these items.
That's really strange to me. I really don't understand why EHOME didn't try and go down top. They all circled up like they wanted to try and kill Weaver, but at the end of the day, Weaver is Weaver. So you're not going to catch him. Yes, he is. That is 100% true 100% of the time. He's just going to be able to get out of those tricky situations unless they had something like smoke where they were going to try and catch him off guard. But, he knew they were coming up, and so, as soon as he knew that they were getting close to him, he just ran away very quickly. So just basically sacrificing that bottom tower. I saw that not everybody on EHOME had... Oh, here actually in the middle looks like we might have some initiation. We have Beastmaster using his ultimate on this Night Stalker. He wants to try and take him out quickly. It looks like they will get exactly what they want. Spectre picks up the kill on Night Stalker. Must need a gold on him. They use the Hex onto Crystal Maiden. Will they be able to take her out as well? Weaver is trying to get into the back here and do as much damage as he can, and he will do some damage. Being able to pick up a kill on Beastmaster. Ancient Apparition is actually going to be able to take out Windrunner by the looks of it. Now Spectre is going to have to try and run away, getting a good stun from Lion. And the dagger from Spectre will stop any kind of real pursuit here.
Yeah, 2-for-2 trade. Actually, honestly, I think that went better for Na'Vi than we really expected. Mill Tower, Weaver does end up getting it. Now chasing down this no mana line and barely any mana Spectre, really being over aggressive here. But he does have that ulti, and he does not get it off in time. But each apparition does throw the ulti, so that exchange definitely going in the favor of EHOME there.
Definitely. I mean, they wanted that tower. That's the whole reason they were there. They had an even exchange, and then they got the tower kill, and then an additional kill on top of that. Weaver did go down, unfortunately, but, he's just been getting out of control. Like you said, 10-minute hood, and now he's sitting on, actually, he just spent some money. He has his power treads, he has his Ring of Basilius. It's only a 17-minute mark. Getting that Radiance is still a very viable option. I have to imagine he's still probably going to get that. He really got to do exactly what he wanted in that last team fight. He got to sit in the back, and he picked off Beastmaster without anybody really going after him. Everybody was so focused on killing that Crystal Maiden that they kind of forgot to go after the carry that's about to pick up a free kill.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea in most cases to pick off those supports because they're just normally so squishy, but see him, not as squishy as you'd think. She has 1,000 health because of that bracer and power treads, and she has, of course, the slow and the freeze to keep people at bay, so, honestly, that really, they should have probably backed out a lot sooner than that. They got their kill on Night Stalker, which is what they wanted, but, they stuck around a little long and then paid for it. Ancient Apparition, man, I just want to throw out there, he's hit some amazing ultis all game.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him miss one. I think it's interesting, and we've talked about this before. On a lot of the support heroes, the recommended item are the phase boots to give you the bursts of speed and attack damage. But I will almost 100% either pick up power treads or the arcane boots. I really don't understand the getting that extra little bit of movement speed when you could pick up some strength. And as we just saw, Crystal Maiden survived because of that, and basically helped bait Beastmaster into an unfortunate position, getting picked off by that Weaver. It looked like Pudge tried to land a hook behind the tower. He missed. He looks like he might try and set up another one, but luckily they have this greater Hawk here. One of the other advantages of having a Beastmaster, giving you some additional vision with that Hawk. Will they be able to put up a good defense at this tower? So far, no one looks like they want to go in. Oh, here comes a hook! And an ulti developed by a Tidehunter, it looked like, but he will go down. No problem to the Pudge. Spectre looking to run around trying to do as much damage as he can. The ultimate pop trying to put up some additional damage. Will anybody die here? Yes, finally Pudge picks up a second kill on Beastmaster. Crystal Maiden actually picks up a kill on Spectre. And Weaver getting put down. He will actually make it out just fine. 3-for-0.
Oh, what a great initiation once again by Pudge, as well as another excellent Ancient Apparition ult hitting, I believe it's at least 3 heroes in that fight. And Night Stalker just sitting here tanking the tower. No big deal. He's got a Vanguard, got a point booster. Nothing's really scaring him at this point. It is nighttime after all. But yeah, I mean, they're just following up these initiations the exact way they need to. Doing massive damage to those squishy targets. And actually Beastmaster, not that squishy, but when you can take all that damage from all the ults, and it just makes a lot of sense. And actually, it looks like they're going for a Roshan.
Yeah, that's very smart of them. They just pushed up all the way into the base. Even though the entire opposing team has res, they're still trying to collect themselves. So it's actually interesting to see that Na'Vi is using their courier as a bit of a scout here. Or was he just delivering an item? Probably that. I was about to say, Neath, they would try and do that, but no, they're not even worried about the site. No wards up here at all in the bottom. It looks like the Greater Hawk is very suspicious. Thinks he smells something funny over in the Roshan pit. He will see that, but everybody else is so far away for EHOME that they are not going to be able to stop this Roshan kill, despite how slow it's actually going down.
Yeah, I mean, they really don't have a lot of damage, let's be honest. They have great burst potential. They have the Pudge and the Night Stalker, an Ancient Apparition, but as far as sustained damage, with Weaver building pure tank here, as you see a VIP booster, he looks like he's going Heart actually as his next item, which I can't blame him, because when you're up against a Spectre late game, you have to match his tankiness in order to survive into that late game. So now, I believe, who picked up... Wow, Pudge picked up the Aegis of the Immortal, like he's not already strong enough. So, now he's just not going to be afraid of anything, and you're going to see him really get aggressive and try to take out some people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's just going to be able to sit in on top of those people with the Rot on, and then when he reses up, he can do it all again. You can see EHOME they're so defensive right now. All 5 of them are just up in that top lane. They figure, okay, they've been pushing towers one right after another. Let's just all be here and be prepared for it. But they're missing out on a lot of farm and a lot of experience being grouped up like this. And we can see Na'Vi is just like, okay, let's push the bottom lane instead then. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal, man. Ancient Apparition, with that mechanism he had for the last fight, now a Vit booster. Not exactly sure where he's going with that item, but I guess it's not matter. He just wants some health, I guess, at this point to survive, which is a very good idea. You see Crystal Maiden having the Drums of Endurance, so that's going to help get that move speed, be able to move around these fights a lot quicker, be able to set up a lot of kills, possibly with that Pudge. But they're just looking around just to steal the farm, keep them in their base so they can't get the farm, and I guess that's the real play difference here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're able to keep up this contain, in part because Night Stalker, it's nighttime. They really can't venture out very far, or else they will get ganked and killed. Here we see Pudge actually at the bottom. He wants somebody to just dart out just a little bit so he can hit him with that hook and get a good ulti, but everybody's busy at the middle and bottom lane, picking up some additional farm as they can. Yeah, keeping up this contain is going to be important for them. They're just going to be able to roam around the map and do as they please, although, at the same time, they do have a team that really isn't as strong later on in the game. They really do have to rely on this Weaver who hasn't picked up any defensive items yet. And, when everybody was grouped up at top, they just decided to push bottom. When everybody goes bottom, they go back up top and pick up another tower kill, just completely outplaying EHOME in this situation. Now the game is gone 10-22. It looks like Na'Vi tried to loop back around mid to try and see if they could pick up a kill, but a nice Scroll Town portal will stop any of those shenanigans.
And you see CM doing her job there, placing a ward up there, ready for that Pudge to be able to hook someone at a moment's notice. As I pull up this gold chart, now close to, I believe, 13,000 gold lead 23 minutes in. I mean, if that's not scary, I don't know what is. And it just definitely shows. I mean, look at the tower situation. They've only managed to take one tower here on EHOME, and that's just not going to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, they traded that tower for tier 2 tower too, so it wasn't even really a gain in that situation for them. Nice to see a counter ward does go down for EHOME. A mishook by Dendi. He just drops the ultimate on a Beastmaster who runs straight in. A lot dropped on this Pudge, but he does have that Ankh. So it's only Beastmaster who will actually goes down here. He does buy back into the game. Windrunner now getting very low, getting chased down by this Night Stalker, as Lion gets chased down by the Pudge, who will actually finally go down this time. Spectre getting very low as well. He turns around just trying to put up some additional damage onto this Night Stalker, who's just going to run away, continuing to tank the towers right by the fortress. He does finally go down. Tidehunter picks up a double kill, as well as Crystal Maiden. And Spectre actually is able to come back here and pick up a kill on Ancient Apparition, now pursuing Crystal Maiden. Will Weaver be able to hold him off? No, of course not. Weaver doesn't really have anything there to do that. And now it looks like finally Pudge will come back in, lands a hook and an ultimate on Spectre. Weaver almost going down to him, but Pudge is able to finish the job. Like 8 for 9 there. So many buybacks.
I know.
Just showing you how useful those are, though, in both situations. Each team really able to turn it back and forth using those buybacks. Very smart of them trying to do that. EHOME really had to buy back in those situations, and Na'Vi didn't want to all of a sudden give EHOME the ability to pick up some of those tower kills that they so desperately need.
Yeah, you see Tidehunter trying to keep Pudge, you know, hey, stick around, man. We're not going to do anything to you, but he is going to keep running. Actually, it looks like Lion is going to possibly catch up to him. I don't know how much longer they can chase him, though. There's going to be support. Ancient Apparition drops the ulti, hits Lion for massive damage, but Pudge is still going to die. I believe that's like the third time he's died in 2 minutes or something. He died twice there in the team fight, and then he bought back and just died again. But, you know, that buyback, I believe, definitely worth it because they managed to take out that Spectre after he bought back. So, you know, probably worth it since Pudge does not need the Venomous Disgust. Night Stalker actually catching Beastmaster with a slow and a silence and that dot. Ancient Apparition now dropping his slow. And they're most certainly going to take out this Beastmaster. Another slow is dropped, and he is going to fall. So now they're probably going to look to try to maybe be more aggressive on these other lanes.
Yeah, I mean, look where Beastmaster was. He's all the way pushed up to the middle with only one ward, really, at the top river, giving any vision anywhere near that area. And, of course, with it being nighttime, you can't venture out that far. You know, they kind of have to. They're getting into desperate straits where they need to try and pick up these kills on creeps to get back into the game, try and get that farm back. But, you know, if you're going to give up kills to a Night Stalker, any creeps you pick up, probably not worth it. You know, it is interesting in that fight there. Lion was only about 10, 12 health away from going down the Ancient Apparition ulti. So, you know, it was almost a one-for-one exchange there for, you know, all the work that was done.
Almost. I mean, speaking of Night Stalker, you check out, he's got that Aghanim Scepter now, as we know, one of the, you know, most impressive, in my opinion, one of the best ones for a champion, you know, able to give that vision. As you can see on the map, just how big that vision really is. I mean, you know, that's going to not only be great for him to set up his initiation, but you got to think that in terms of his team with Pudge. I mean, now they're going to be able to see up those hillsides without even wards placed down. And, you know, it's just going to be so much easier to set up these kills.
Yeah, and you know what else is going to help set up kills? A Radiance on Weaver. So much damage is going to come out from there. We can see 60 damage plus the 40 a second burn aura. And he's still able to pick that up before the 30-minute mark, despite the fact that he's picked up Hood, Ring of Basilius, Vitality Booster, and Power Treads. Just having an absolutely fantastic time. You know, all those tower kills really helped that out. You know, he was off there in the jungle actually farming up the last of that Radiance while the more gank-centric heroes on Navi's team were sitting outside of EHOME space trying to pick up anybody they could. Good play from EHOME means that nobody will get picked off. Actually, speaking of getting picked off, Night Stalker might go down here at the top. Yes, he will. Windrunner actually picks up the kill there. An Ancient Apparition ulti drop trying to help him out. But luckily, that ultimate only has a 40-second cooldown, already down to 30 seconds. So that'll be up in case they do find themselves in a situation where they want to go in without that Night Stalker.
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate for them. I mean, it is daytime, so, you know, I guess not as big a deal. But, you know, I understand why he's trying to keep the aggression up, but it was all five coming. And, you know, it's not like you can't say he didn't know they were coming. I mean, he's got that 1200 vision now at nighttime, so he sees what's happening, but they just really got the jump on him. You know, but, you know, what I'm finding interesting here is Spectre's got 2,500 gold and it may be saving for either, like, a Heart or a Radiance. Given the situation their team's in, do you really think that's smart? Do you think he should maybe go for more of maybe an easier item to build?
I think convention says when you start getting behind, you want to try and pick up those little items that are going to help you maybe farm better, farm faster, stay alive longer. But, I mean, there's really not a ton for Spectre to do with those items at this point. You know, I mean, Navi hasn't been putting up a lot of pressure lately. They were able to just pick up a kill. You know, I think it's probably more of a thing where you're just like, oh, I'm kind of sitting on some money. I might as well just see if I can hold on to it for a while. You know, worst comes to worst, he is pretty much pent up in his base the whole time anyhow. So if a push does come, he's like, you know what, I changed my mind. I really do want to pick up an item to help turn the tide of an impending team fight. You know, he's right there. He does have the ability to do that. So kind of why not in this situation?
Yeah, and, you know, actually he has elite health. I mean, that's just pretty baller in itself. But, you know, I honestly, I think I'd rather, in this case, him get more survivability than damage. I mean, survivability in his case does equal damage, let's face it, with, you know, dispersion. You know, they're going to take that 20% regardless, and if he has more health, he lives longer, he's just going to end up doing more AoE damage. And honestly, I think that might be better for them, because right now he's just a little too squishy, only 37 health. I mean, CM almost has that much health. What does that say?
Yeah, I mean that just that just tells you the advantage that they have at this point. Yeah, you know, I definitely would not expect Radiance to be what Spectre is going to go for. I definitely think it is going to wind up being that heart, and like you said, the dispersion damage is going to be plenty to increase his damage output. I would like to say earlier too, I invited my parents to watch this replay of ours, and before, like when I went and checked how many views our stream had, 1338. My parents were the one to throw it off. Parents ruining everything. Wow. Their uncoolness. What can you do? In comes an ultimate from Spectre. It looks like Crystal Maiden is going to pick up a kill onto him. That is never good. I imagine he was trying to use that ultimate to try and jump to another Na'Vi champion, maybe catch somebody off guard, but when they're all five sitting on top of each other, there really isn't that far to go. And now it looks like Na'Vi is just going to look to push in this top lane.
Yeah, and they're not going to have any trouble now. Spectre, really the only chance they have to stop anything. And actually, it looks like Initiation's coming in now. No, just trying to scare him off. They do use that fortification, and Spectre actually uses all that money he's been saving up to buy back. Still 2,000 gold, but probably not going to spend it at this point, just looking to help defend. His ultimate is on cooldown for another 80 seconds, so he's not going to be as helpful as, you know, maybe they'd want him to be, but it looks like they're going to be just enough to hold him off for now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the ultimate on Spectre is really nice because when you get those Radiances, you get all that stacked up damage, and that's fantastic. But, you know, without the Radiance, with everybody grouped up, it does a lot of extra damage. It does some extra damage, but, you know, you won't get the Desolate damage, so it's not as crucial. They're really pushed back here. They're just forced to essentially just give up that tower for nothing. And now it looks like poor Lion's going to get hooked off into Oblivion. Crystal Maiden, though, might go down for it. Spectre trying so hard to get back to her, he will go down. Not much after she does, and now it looks like Beastmaster, after trying to take down a low health Weaver, will get taken out. Weaver picking up a double kill, Pudge picking up a double kill. That is 5 for 1 in Na'Vi's favor.
CM MVP for tank of this game. You know, poor girl just getting harassed every fight, but she did her job, slowed, stunned, you know, put out enough damage to survive just long enough for them to take out their team. So another excellent job there by Na'Vi. You know, now they're going to have 2 lanes at the minimum here cleared because that fortification is already down. Actually, Night Stalker looking to try to get a hook set up here. Does actually pick up the Windrunner. Are you kidding me? EHOME going to try to KS. Does not manage to, though, at the end. So now that Windrunner's gone after resin so quickly, and they're just going to push this mid down.
That's unfortunate. That almost feels like... I mean, if I were EHOME, I would just feel like, really, guys? Really? You got the game. There's no reason for all that. You know, and Na'Vi just really looking to help ensure this. They only had the 1 tower push, so I guess it makes sense, but I gotta say, that always feels like bad manner when it happens to me. Lion actually looking to try and go in here and get some revenge to take down that Weaver so much, but look, he just ultimates and comes right back in at almost full health. Spectre does pick up a kill on Night Stalker, who just buys back. Pudge picks up the kill on Lion, and now it looks like Pudge is actually going to commit suicide with the Rot, not allowing any more gold to go to the opposing team. And it looks like Weaver wants to try and push this issue. Look how low this Beastmaster is getting. Is he going to be able to do enough damage? No, he will not. It looks like Crystal Maiden might go down. Ask to tank one more time for her team. Ancient Apparition picks up that double kill in the back. Yes, good call. Crystal Maiden, apparently a strength hero in this game, not something I was aware of, will not go down. It looks like her and Ancient Apparition, oh, she does go down. Finally, Night Stalker does come back in. Ancient Apparition picks up a triple kill, and Ancient Apparition and Night Stalker are actually going to pick up the 3rd and final of EHOME's lanes. Unbelievable.
Wow, Ancient Apparition's ulti. You can't ask for a better ultimate. GG's actually being called now. Na'Vi going to sweep the series 2-0, win that beautiful $22,000 prize. You know, major congrats to them. They deserved it, you know, with this Pudge pick, with the aggression all game. I mean, they really showed why they deserve to have this tournament.
Absolutely. Here in the bottom, we actually have Lion trying to pick up a kill on Ancient Apparition. He will not. Looks like Lion will go down to the Weaver. Tidehunter will also go down to Weaver. A double kill there, and perhaps a triple kill. No, Night Stalker actually, what a KSR, picks up that kill. You know, it's really interesting. You know, Weaver really is able to do just a fine amount of damage with just that Radiance. You know, that Germinate attack, so good. That's like so much fun on him. I think. I'm not sure how I feel about Weaver in general in the competitive scene, but obviously he did just fine right here, helping his team Na'Vi to a win as they look to finish off these towers. Thanks for joining us through some of the games. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring you all the games from the ESWC. Blame Dota 2 and its ridiculous beta that doesn't work flawlessly, keeping up all of the replays. Hope you guys join us in the future for some more Dota 2 casts, as well as some League of Legends competitive play.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.